countless westerns have featured nitroglycerin as a key plot device. Someone decides to break out of jail or blow up a bank, and everybody in the movie knows that the slightest jostle will blow them all to kingdom come. And watching these movies as a kid piqued something in my curious, mildly destructive brain. What is this stuff? First synthesized by Italian chemist Ascanio Sobrero in 1847, nitroglycerin was the first practical explosive that was stronger than traditional black powder and was quickly adopted by industry for various uses, from construction to demolition and famously mining. It also caught the attention of munitions manufacturer Alfred Nobel, yes, he of the Nobel Prize. Nobel saw the potential in this stuff and started to develop it commercially, catastrophically blowing up his factories at least 3 times in the process. Nitroglycerin was proving far more dangerous than it was useful or practical. In fact, the explosion that happened on this block in 1866 led to a complete ban on the transportation of nitroglycerin within the state of California, a law that is still on the books today. To find it in its original form is nearly impossible. So let's see. It's impossible to find, it's super dangerous, and it's illegal to transport. How am I gonna get my hands on some? Well, it turns out I know a guy. So over here at the bottom of this quarry pit, that struck us as the best possible location to continue our testing. After our first tests were cut short by a flying steel plate, we're taking no chances. Marcoux has built a beautiful, collapsible steel shelf that's placed exactly 6 feet above a giant 1-inch thick steel plate. The base plate for our new rig weighs in at 2,000 pounds. I am confident it will not be flying into the air. In addition to the improved rig and steel base, we've placed a bunker 200 feet away. Jesse, we're good to go on your mark. We are resuming our bottle drop test where we left off, with a 1-ounce bottle of nitroglycerin being dropped from a height of 6 feet. The bottle's in place.
You ready for this?
I'm as ready as I'll ever be. I'm gonna pull the first safety. There we go. First safety is out.
Here we go.
6-foot bottle drop onto steel in 3, 2, 1. Whoa!
Nice.
Wow! That was a boom! It hits the neck, and it takes about a millisecond for the flat of the bottle to contact the deck, and then you don't see it break. It's just instantly a bomb. This 6-foot bottle drop gave us the explosive results that we weren't able to generate in our previous 6-foot test. A satisfying but somewhat curious result. That is very confusing to me because we dropped the nitroglycerin from 6 feet onto steel at the bomb range and we did not get an explosion. We got broken bottles and no explosions. But out here, boom! I mean, like a very serious crack.
There we go, we're coming down.
Inexplicable inconsistencies in testing always warrant more testing. But this time, instead of taking things up a notch, we're gonna take them down. I feel like we should go all the way back and start from scratch. And so that's what we're doing. Keep coming, keep coming, keep coming. We're going all the way here to 42. We're gonna reset the height of our drop rig to 42 inches, what I've been calling Butterfinger Klutz height. We're gonna drop the bottle from there, and we're gonna see what we get. Perfect, stop right there. Remember, our first test from this height on asphalt failed to even break the bottle. Nitroglycerin is in place. This is 42 inches. Nitroglycerin onto a steel plate in 3, 2, 1. Wow.
Wow.
Oh. So what's up with you, Nitro? At the bomb range, multiple drops, nothing. Today, 2 drops and 2 big booms. Why so wildly inconsistent? Our nitroglycerin expert, Jesse Taylor, has some possible explanations.
Comparing the tests we've seen today to the bomb range, there's several variables. We had a couple differences in the surface that we were dropping on. Like at the bomb range, it was asphalt, and that's significantly softer than steel. And even though we did do one of the drops onto a steel plate, the bottle kept landing on like the shoulder or the corner. So the surface that we're dropping on, the way the bottle impacts, are big factors.
A softer surface and the attitude at which the bottle hits can dampen the impact and lower the energy below the threshold needed for detonation. There's also one big environmental factor that Jesse thinks is key: the temperature.
And then, of course, it was colder and the air was a lot more, there was moisture in the air, and here it's warmer and drier.
In fact, the ambient temperature at the quarry is 30 degrees warmer than the day we spent at the bomb range, and significantly hotter in the sun. And here's a thing I didn't know: the warmer the nitro, the more unstable and sensitive it gets.
Heat definitely makes nitroglycerin more volatile and ready for detonation. Much more sensitive.
So while we've had some inconsistent results, I've learned two key things. One, if you're unlucky enough to have dropped a bottle of nitroglycerin under the proper conditions where it would explode, it surely would have lived up to its reputation as death in a bottle. And the second thing I know for certain, it's time to move on to another terrible tale of nitroglycerin's destructive power.
Now, if you remember, a shipment of nitroglycerin that was unlabeled arrived at the Wells Fargo location, and one of the crates was soaked in nitroglycerin, and apparently it blew up when someone tried to open it. Well, how did they close boxes back then? They didn't use packing tape. No. They used crates like this and they nailed them shut. So how did they open those crates? Well, they did it with one of these and with one of these. You see where I'm going.
I'm building a rig that will hopefully simulate that catastrophic hammer and chisel mishap. This is how I think the explosion could have gone down. Hammer hits chisel.
The chisel aimed right towards the nail impacts both the nail and the box at the same time, because this is where the puddle of leaky nitroglycerin is.
That one tiny point of metal on metal impact causes a detonation that sets off a chain reaction, and the whole crate of nitro blows.
Bring in the nitroglycerin! I just wanted to say that. All right, one drop at first.
Here we go.
If the chisel hitting the nail could have triggered a massive chain reaction, it would have started with one small spark at the point of contact. So we're starting small, with only one drop of nitroglycerin, still enough to produce an explosion on par with a gunshot.
Let's retreat to a safe place and set this puppy off.
Yeah.
Back away slowly. Hammer and chisel test with just a drop or two of nitroglycerin. In 3, 2, 1. Nada. Well, our first test with one drop of nitroglycerin did not yield any kind of boom, but we think that's because this wood is so old, it's sponging up the nitroglycerin really, really fast. So I think Jesse's gonna add a couple of drops of the nitroglycerin, and then we're gonna go again. 3, 2, 1.
Nice solid hit.
That was a beautiful hit.
Our testing so far has revealed that nitro needs a rather energetic impact to detonate. I believe that our rig is producing sufficient energy, so maybe we just need to add more nitro.
3, 2, 1. Nothing! Come on! I'll be perfectly frank, nitroglycerin is really starting to piss me off.